Yo, call me I'm in public because I can't say anything crazy out here. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Game Sketch. Today and only today, we are here to talk about Shadow Generations. Well, it's Sonic Generations, but I really mostly played the Shadow Generations portion of the demo. I got about an hour with the game. I think I'm gonna go back and play a bit more tomorrow, but I got to play enough of the game. I got to play the 2 levels that were available to us, which was Space Colony Act 1, and I got to play the Bio Lizard boss fight. That was Act 1 of the Space Colony arc, which is fire. There's a lot to go over, so mind me if I'm stuttering and all this stuff. There's going to be my own footage that I have recorded from when I played, but there's also B-roll footage that was provided to us, so it's going to be a mix of both in this video. But let me talk to y'all about this, right? Because it's going to be really just quick, me throwing my thoughts out there for y'all. Right off the bat, what do I think of Shadow Generations? Now, I'll talk about Sonic Generations towards the end for people that want to hear about that, but everybody's here for Shadow, so let's talk about Shadow. So, first of all, how does Shadow feel? Fucking great. It's, how do I explain it? It's almost like, think of cyberspace, right? But it's like the ones from Final Horizon, where it feels like there's a lot of multiple paths you can take. What I adore so much about this, right, is I think this act, right, that I did with Shadow is probably one of my favorite Sonic acts or Shadow acts of all time, because it is exactly what I want from a Sonic level. I want a mix of cinematic moments as well as high-speed moments as well as options. And I felt like this level, just this one level that was 5 to 6 minutes long, by the way, and I S-ranked it. Like, that was me doing my best. I did a few tries, but I S-ranked it. This is exactly what I wanted, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is exactly what we were waiting for, like a meaty level. When was the last time a Sonic level was that long? Maybe literally Sonic Unleashed. So to be in a level for that long with this many moments was awesome, right? So you run like Sonic, you know, you have a boost like Sonic, but Shadow's main gimmick, at least for now, right, we do know there's skill points and we know he has wings and all this shit that I didn't get access to, or the open world. His main gimmick he has is Chaos Control, again, at least for now. And so when you feel the meter to get Chaos Control, everything around you stops. And at first I was kind of confused. I was like, why am I doing this? But you then realize later that platforms are, you know, climbable because they're in a certain order. So when you use Chaos Control, you can go up certain platforms to go up to certain different paths. So that's awesome. You know what I mean? Again, that's like that next level of even more branching path options, you know, where it's like, okay, you could take the bottom path, you could take a left path sometimes. There's sometimes a path hidden under a crate. You know, sometimes you are using Chaos Control right when all the missiles are like tied together so you can go upwards on a different path. There's an enemy you can hit to go upwards. It is dope. You know what I mean? It's absolutely sick. And I think he does have momentum. It's not like, you know, a crazy amount of momentum, but he has a decent amount of momentum where when you boost upwards, you don't need to like jump to follow up the speed. You kind of just boost on his own to go up to a different platform. The music was awesome. I couldn't pinpoint what song it was, but it was a remix of an existing track. But what stands out so much about this level, again, is the cinematic value. There's a moment about, you know, 2 to 3 minutes into it where you use Chaos Control, you're bashing this missile up together, and then you kick it, and then you're thrown into the next area where Black Doom shows up. Black Doom is talking to you, and by the way, unless the voice actor exactly one-to-one the same, that is 100% Sean Shebel.
We meet again, Shadow the Hedgehog, my latest creation. The promised time will arrive once more. You cannot deny your fate. We shall meet again, Shadow.
Unless the person is perfect at doing that impression, that seemed like Sean Shemel's Black Doom to me. And he's talking shit to you as you're going through. And when you're going through the next area, it's trippy. You know what I mean? It's a path where the paths are twisted. You go down the sky like you do in the original Westopolis opening of the Shadow the Hedgehog game. So that's fucking awesome. And there's, you know, a rail line section where you can continue down the grind rail, or you can go up a platform. It's like, this is the stuff I'm talking about. You know, there's zoom ins to when Black Doom's looking at you, and then there's moments where, you know, Shadow's tripping and he falls, he stumbles over, and you go back to gameplay. Like, this is the stuff I am here for and that I want for Sonic so much more. You know what I mean? Like, because we don't even have that in Frontiers. There isn't a cyberspace level where that has, you know, cinematic dynamic moments, you know. So for levels here to have this, and this being Act 1, is awesome. So overall, like, just the first level, I loved my time with it. Shadow controls well enough. I think it's not one of those things where it's perfect. I wish he had like the drift, kind of, you know, how Sonic does in Sonic Generations. But for the most part, he controls really well. He's fun to play. There's multiple paths. It's just a sick platforming level with a mix of dynamic cameras, dynamic movement, and everything. And also, unlike Sonic Frontiers, he does have victory animation. So depending on, you know, how you win, what you do, he's gonna have a different win animation, which is fire. So I'm glad that they added that back in, because that was my biggest issue with, well, one of my issues with Frontiers, where like you would beat a cyberspace level and you did not get a animation for winning or anything. So I'm glad you have that in there. So that's really it for the first level. Had a great time with it. I cannot wait to see, like, if that's Act 1, what's gonna happen with Act 2? Also, no 2D segments in that level whatsoever, like not a single one. And we do know that I think those are going to happen, because we saw in the main trailer Kingdom Valley had a 2D section, but that entire level, not a single 2D section. So really happy about that. I didn't get any cutscenes really afterwards, but I did get to then do the Bio Lizard boss fight. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, the Biolizard boss fight, I was 50-50 on. It's actually challenging, which I think is probably a good thing, right? I think coming off of Frontiers, where, you know, a lot of the bosses were mainly about how cinematic it is, how fucking cool it is, I feel like this one mixes a bit of challenge with a bit of, you know, cinematic-isms in it, right? So the main gimmick with the, you know, Biolizard fight is, it's kind of like the original game where it starts where he's chasing you around, you gotta sort of run away. I was struggling a little bit the first time or two, but you're running away from him, you're trying to run the other way while he's trying to hit you with his tail, then you're dodging, you know, the giant balls that he's shooting out of his mouth, Ayo paws, but then you're able to grind roll on top of them, beat the shit out of him, and then boom, then he goes into the next phase. The next phase, he grows these arms, and that's really cool. Again, like mid-fight changes are dope to me. He grows these arms, he's smacking the ground, eventually you can hit the arm a bunch with Shadow, then you're using Chaos Control to hit the floating, you know, bubbles to go and hit his core, and then eventually there's a third phase where, yeah, he slams his body down, you gotta hit the arms again, but it's harder to dodge, so really good mix. And then the last phase, this is the phase where I got a little bit confused, where they want you to use Chaos Spear to hit these things that are coming at you, but the camera doesn't really explain that too well, and it's kind of iffy, right? So on that note, I was kind of whatever about. But again, once you shoot those, you eventually get Chaos Control. He shoots a giant beam at you, you Chaos Control it, you hit it a bunch, knock it back at him, and punch him. And again, the dope cinematic value in here is fucking awesome, especially for what seems to be very early things in the Shadow Act. Like, this is nothing compared to what we've seen in the trailer, what we know. Like, we don't even know the hub world, we don't even know where Kingdom Valley is, we don't even know where Real Canyon is, we don't know, like, it seems like this is going to be pretty meaty. I mean, even if we have like 6 levels that are about 5 to 6 minutes long, it's awesome. And also, I should specify that in the main level, yes, there are collectibles. So if you want collectibles, one, they have the Gerald Robotnik collectibles. There's a green collectible I got for, you know, jumping on these meteors, but making sure I landed on the top platform instead of the bottom, and I was able to get Gerald Robotnik's green journal thing. There's a music pickup thing. I think there's 2 music tracks you can pick up, or it's something else in the level. I don't know, but I knew there was 3 collectibles in the level, so that's cool if you want to explore. Again, there's like one middle open area you have in the first level. So overall, man, I gotta say, I am really, really fucking happy. Like, I played the Shadow portion and I came out being like, damn, bro, like, this feels like I'm playing a new game, you know. And obviously, you know, it's gonna be a shorter experience, probably, you know, in the hour or 2 range. I'm feeling like it's gonna be 2 hours at the bare minimum, right? With the open zone area they have, with the amount of fun challenges they'll probably have you doing there, with the levels being as lengthy as they are, without even cutscenes. I think we're on to a really fucking fun experience with the Shadow side. Now, to talk a little bit about the Sonic side, looks incredible. Like, it's almost, you know, like how modders, you know, have the game running at like beautiful frame rates, crispy, everything. It's almost like they took all the best mods of the game and that's how they made it run. Like, modern Sonic feels fluid. I got to play the Green Hill Zone level there. I kind of aced that shit out. Classic Sonic is really cool because he has a drop dash now, so it feels like the classic game, but he's got the drop dash. So it kind of just feels like, hey, it's, you know, Sonic Generation's already peaked, so why not throw it in there? But I did notice when I played Classic Sonic's Act that I was triggering that Chow rescue, so I found 2 random Chows towards the end of the level. I don't know what they did, nor, you know, if I completed the mission correctly, but I did find 2 Chow, and I'm guessing the more Chow you find, maybe you get like an extra skin or collectible or something. But yeah, that's really it for the Sonic side. There's not really much to say. You know, it's Sonic Generation. It's gonna look pretty, it's gonna be crisp, so I'm happy that it's gonna be available to everyone. Again, just to summarize a little bit, Shadow stuff obviously is the big highlight here. I'm so excited. This is without even, you know, knowing about the wings or whatever abilities he's gonna have. No story stuff. The level itself felt good. There were multiple branching paths. You know, there were top paths you can jump off. It felt like you could be rewarded for your gameplay. You know what I mean? And different playing in different areas, going to different paths. You know, I wanted to replay the level just to try out different paths, and it felt really satisfying. There was still like a path or two that I hadn't tried that I really wanted to. So overall, I'm really happy, and I'm sure there's going to be a ton more to talk about once I'm back. And of course, there's some cool B-roll of the game looking good in HD. So yeah, these are just my emotions. These are just how I feel right now. So guys, I love you. Thank you all for watching. You're the best, and of course, I'll see you all tomorrow or next time or whenever. Peace out.